good with it in the hood with it? Welcome back to the Collective Clips where you already know we get it in. But before we get it in, let's hit the like and subscribe button. Ding! Put your notification bell on all so that way you're directing the directions of the dope content I'm kicking. And I highly appreciate all the support, man. We're going up on this channel and it's all because of you, right? And for that, I'm very humbled and I appreciate it, man. Thank you. So what the fuck is going on, man? Straight up. It's getting more uglier and more uglier. See, it's getting ugly in Southern California. See you when we get there. Right? It's getting ugly like a Tony song. But at the same time, man, it just is what it is nowadays, right? So yesterday, man, Hoodstocks, a channel I watch, a channel that, always has different type of individuals on there, from mostly Southern California. And, the guy Lucky from Hoodstock promotes some good shit. At the same time, there's some situations that get a little tense, I guess when you're drinking or you're indulging in whatever, shit can get a little bit hot, a little bit flustered. Shit can be fucked up. That's what happens, man, when you become inebriated or you allow people on your podcast to indulge in either drugs or alcohol or whatever the case may be. You never know where it's going to go, where the conversation is going to take you, how lefty it's going to go. So anyways, Lucky from Hoodstocks, although I will say, man, it's very controversial, his podcast sometimes. For the most part, man, he puts on a good show and he usually has some good talent on there. And he's doing the right thing by promoting these people, letting them promote themselves. Hey, and if you got the fucking platform and people tune in and turn up, why not, right? So it's a very well-known Southern California podcast, man, that he's been doing this now for several years, promoting young, raw talent from around the way. And also at the same time, letting individuals go on there who have been in prison in the past and tell their stories. And there's some pretty good content that comes off that podcast, man. And hey, I'll say this, man, albeit Lucky leans more towards the general population activities. He does at times, man, allow people to express North and South situations, which I say he does it unbiasedly, right? He feels how he feels about dropouts and feels how he feels about people that have got out of the gangs, and to me, someone that is still participating in the gangs that knows what time it is, should basically, he's gonna play by the rules. He's gonna play by however he wants to play, but at the same time, I appreciate the fact that Lucky does bring people on his platform and lets them say what they need to say. Now, there have been some situations in the past where he's had to cut quiet on the set, right? Cut ties with individuals mid conversation just because the conversation was going somewhere he didn't want. There have been some situations where people are like, they think he set up some of his people that popped up just because of the questions he asked, kind of steered them into a corner, put them in a wrong direction or whatever. I know one that happened a couple years ago was the Notorious podcast, that everybody was talking about when he had Weddle from San Jose that went on there, who was an upstater, an upstate South Sider, and started to ask him questions. And then one particular person called in and a question was brought up on who Weddle affiliated with in the past and had conversations with. Now, Weddle was on a positive track, just trying to do good, but was painted into being a villain or painted into being associated with people that were basically not looked at in the best of eyes, I guess you would say, right? Whatever the case may be, man, Lucky was able to overcome that because he stopped that conversation in mid-sentence and ended it, right? Quiet on the set. And now yesterday he does a podcast and he has Lefty Gunplay. Lucky has Lefty Gunplay on there. Now Lefty Gunplay, man, we just talked about him yesterday because he banned fucking Lazy Boy from ever coming to Southern California. No Mickey Mouse ears for USA. He said, nope, you can't get a Slurpee at the local 7-Eleven. You can't pass Go and Collect 200. You can't do shit, according to Lefty Gunplay. But, I will say this. In this conversation that him and Lucky were having on that podcast, Hoodstocks, Lefty was keeping it pretty professional, man. He was telling his stories. He was talking about his music. Albeit somewhere mid-conversation, both of their shirts did come off. And I've always wondered why that happens on the Hoodstocks podcast. It'll start off Charlie Brown up, Ben Davis up, and somewhere towards, I'd say, the later half of the conversation, shirts start coming off, hats start getting twisted backwards. You know what I mean? Calzones get, I don't know what's going on, but at the same time, I'm not going to say nothing. I'm just going to say, I've always noticed that I'd say about the 85% of the conversation, shirts start to come off and nipples start getting hard. That's just how it is. Now, somewhere mid-conversation, the shirts did come off. And when you have two alpha males, two individuals, one that's coming up, he's a youngster in the game. He's representing the Sur in Southern California to the fullest, man. He is him. He is I, and I is him. Slim with the tilted brim. What's my motherfucking name? Left Doggy Dog, right? Lefty Gunplay is representing Southern California. And according to a lot of individuals, he's doing it quite well. Okay, and then you have, of course, Lucky, who I appreciate the fact that he's no nonsense. I appreciate the fact that he stands his ground in most conversations, albeit sometimes he will cut you off, but he'll let you know exactly how he feels and exactly how it's going down because that's his podcast. That's his banner that he ordered from Amazon personalized. That's his microphone that he went to Best Buy to buy for $199. That's his shit. Okay, his Rodecaster soundboard. You're not going to go in his podcast and disrespect them, and I understand that. You know, men are not going to be disrespected, especially in their own household. You can't go shit in someone else's backyard unless they allow you to. So somewhere in mid-conversation while shirts were off and nipples were hard, Lucky felt disrespected. He felt like maybe Lefty said something or was trying to act a little too hard. Now, I understand that. When you have someone that's right there in front of you and you feel in your heart like he's playing a role, he's playing a character, maybe you don't feel like he's that hard. Maybe you've decided through that conversation, like this vato ain't everything he says he is. He's putting tapatio on it. He's putting 2 on the 10. He's doing a little too much. Maybe, I'm not saying that's the way Lucky felt, but it seemed like I seen a look in his eye at one point, right? Where he fucking flipped his switch. Maybe it was the alcohol. Maybe it was just a fact that he just decided, hey, you know what? I don't like this vato. I've done that before. I've had cellies in prison where we're kicking it, man. We're conversating. The first day is all good. The second day is all good. The third day he took his shit and it smelled. And I'm like, nope, it's not good no more, right? And just like that, it could get all bad. And that's how it kind of looked yesterday, man. It got to the point where they started to argue. Now, Lefty in this situation, I thought he did right. Lefty said, hey, man, as soon as Lucky went off and started to get a little challenging and a little bit loud and boisterous, you know, which is not his character usually. I mean, he's a loud individual. That's how he's gotten his shine as a podcaster. But as soon as he started to say, this is my podcast, this is my me, it's all about me, when it shouldn't be. As a professional, it's all about that person that you have in that hot seat. It's all about the questions that you ask them. As a journalist, as a professional, as someone who runs a podcast or any type of platform, you have to concede to that other person and listen to what they got to say. You can ask the hard questions. And sometimes the question, you're not going to get the answers that you want to get. That's part of the game, man. Sometimes vatos are going to sit there and act crazy. And, you know, that's part of being, I guess, a rock star or a rap star or someone of this generation and this era nowadays, is that you're not going to agree with a lot of these youngsters. You're not going to agree with a lot of the flamboyant ways and the way they carry themselves. But as a professional, what you have to agree with is that you have to bite the bullet home sometimes and just be happy that vato has decided to sit down at your podcast and give you some shine, give you some views, because that's what it's all about. Seeing if you as a different person can maybe get some different fucking answers to some different questions that we haven't already heard on every other podcast. You know, because it's not like Lefty Gunplay hasn't been on No Jumper, hasn't been on Back and Fig, he's went on every different podcast because he's popping right now. He's within his 15 minutes of fame. He's in his prime in his 15 minutes of fame. So at this point, Lucky was able to facilitate some type of conversation, and he should have respected that. Now, when Lucky started to go a little off and a little crazy, tripped me out, right? I was watching it live. Lefty did the right thing. Lefty kind of just smirked, laughed, and was like, come on, bro. I ain't going that route. And Lucky jumped up and was like, let's get it. Let's catch a fade. It went from 0 to 100 very, very fast. It went from sitting down, having a drink, conversating, telling war stories, laughing, talking about praising the guy and how much he's what he's doing in LA and how he's saving rap music in LA and how he's became the new face of the West Coast and things of that nature, all the way to, well, let's catch a fade then, right? I mean, straight from 0 to 100. Now, sometimes I think some of that stuff is staged and choreographed when this type of shit happens on podcasts. I believe Vatos, hey, bro, you want to go viral? Let's make it look like this. Let's make it look like that. Sometimes it be like that. Now imagine, everybody loves drama. And what's more dramatic than two individuals buck naked fighting on a stage, right? What's more dramatic than two individuals ataqueated down fucking brushing nipples against each other? I mean, I wouldn't watch it, but I'm just saying there's a lot of people out there that are very intrigued, right? And like I said, why the t-shirts had to come off in mid-conversation, I don't know. I see motherfuckers want to chunk them, get mad, take the shirt off. What's happening, homie? I always wonder why people take the shirt off. I just leave mine on. Like, fuck it, bro, let's go. Right? So that's good. We're going to have all your sangre all over it anyways. And at the end, I'm going to be like, watcha, see? But Vatos will take the shirt off so it restricts the blood flow. It doesn't restrict the blood flow and they're ready to go. Anyways, somewhere in that conversation, Lucky felt disrespected, I believe. If it was even real, if it wasn't staged, right? If it was staged, man, and they did it just to go viral or they did it just to stir up conversation and for dramatic effects, then it's over, man. Then this fucking new school shit that's going on, man, has really lost it and is making the Mexican community look bad. And I'm speaking from a vantage point, man, of just being brown, homes, not north, not south, none of that, man. Anyone who would do that and would lower themselves to Adam 16 standards and pushing and throwing Slurpees on each other and fucking rubbing nipples on each other, that right there, it's not that serious, bro. It's not that serious. What's more serious is conducting yourself like a professional and having a great conversation with an individual who's blowing up. Now, when this shit did kick off, and to me, I'm going to be totally honest with you, I don't think it was staged. I think it was authentic. The reaction of Lucky was more like he was kind of buzzing and something was said that he didn't like. And he felt like that Vato was disrespecting his podcast, disrespecting his area. Hey, and I got to commend Lucky for holding it down for his spot. Okay, but there's other ways to do things. Or if it goes down, Holmes, why do you have to air certain things? And I mean, I understand it went down live or did it, so in that case, it is what it is. If shit happens live, it happens live, man. We're talking about live and direct via satellite, right? But if it happens behind the scenes and then you drop the footage, dang, come on, bro. You could have edited shit out and had a conversation, but whatever. When someone, like I said, when someone comes and tries to shit in your backyard, you don't just hand them a roll of toilet paper. You kick them in your ass on the way out. So he felt some type of way and he jumped up and instead of saying, hey, bro, I don't like the way you're answering my questions or, hey, bro, you're acting a little too hard, man. I'd appreciate you fucking keeping it civil, keeping it professional. No, he jumped up and Lefty did the right thing. Lefty was like, you know what? I'm out of here, bro. I'm not going to argue with you. I don't got the time nor the effort. I got the money, but I don't got the time nor the effort to sit here and argue with you when I'm doing you a bottle. I'm doing you a favor. And you have to understand as a podcasters, as content creators, I understand this, that we are behind the scenes constantly trying to find interviews or people that'll fuck with us. It's a little bit harder for people in my situation just because there's a lot of active people that I do talk to or people in the industry that are scared of being seen around me or scared of certain things just based on they do want to do the right thing, but they're still caught up in the wrong thing. Do you understand? And they feel like, oh, it's going to diminish their name. When at the end of the day, man, I know the questions to ask and I know situations I could put them in, man, that'll make that will actually elevate them. I know people, okay? I know people that know people and shit. It just happens to be like that. But at the end of the day, I understand politics and the inside runs the outside. And I understand all that and how at the end of the day, man, it could get them caught up in a situation that I wouldn't wish upon my worst enemy. So, it is what it is. I'm just going to keep striving, struggling for what I truly believe in, and that's the betterment of all people. And I could do it on my own, like a Patti LaBelle song. I don't need help. But anyways, this guy, Lucky should have been respectful and appreciate the fact that fucking Lefty took his time to go sit down on this podcast, and compare tattoos. He should have respected that, but then at the end of the day, it's uncalled for if you get disrespected. Do you understand? So these guys were kind of both in the wrong. I didn't really see the disrespect, though, coming from Lefty. I know he has an attitude. I know he's flamboyant. I believe Lucky should have did his homework a little bit better and realized, man, that's just the way this kid is. Or I can't even call him a kid. He's 30 years old, but that's just the way this younger guy is, man. He's a little flamboyant. He's a little out there. He's a little, ADHD'd. He's a little off the rocker. So sometimes he's going to say things that you might not agree with. It's up to you as an older gentleman, as a provider of a podcast, to settle the situation down and carry yourself with professionalism and say, you know what, that's it. Trip out, bro. You're getting a little off them. You're getting a little out there, ain't? Calm down. Rein it in. Rein it in. You have to learn how to rein it in. That's part of running a podcast. That's part of being a content creator, reining shit in. Anyways, Lefty was like, fuck that, I'm out of here. Lefty said, I'm gone. And, you could just see the horns come up in Lucky's head. That Vato said, fuck that. You ain't going nowhere. Let's go take a fade. He wanted to take a fade. Now, I ask you this. Did that fade take place? Or did Vatos that were in the background say, no? Because where I come from, the old school is, if you have two individuals that are arguing, that for some reason, man, it goes to that point of putting hands on each other or even saying it, then go take your friendly fade. You shake baisas and come back and continue the conversation, or don't. But to say that is one guy trying to belittle another guy. When someone says, let's go take a fade in front of everyone, this is real game right here. Knowledge you can't get in college. That guy usually is hoping the other guy says no. Facts. He's usually hoping the other guy says, Charlie, homie, Charlie. Now, in this case, that's what it looked like Lefty did. Charlie, bro, I'm cool. And the guy that's doing that is really like, Vato swings on me, it's over, right? But at the same time, he's not trying to get caught up in that mess. Like, it ain't that serious, bro. But it does become that serious because now he's in a situation where this Vato told him to his face, let's go catch a fade. If he didn't catch that fade on gang, if you're a certified stepper and you're him, and you're the face of whatever you say you're the face of, you can't turn down a fade from Lucky Sun Zoo. You just can't do that, right? You can't turn down a fade, but now at the same, it's called taking the higher road and being more of a man. It's just a catch-22 all the way around. Think about it. If he catches the fade, you beat up a drunk guy. If he doesn't catch the fade, you ain't no real G, right? And the guy calling him out, damn, bro, how you gonna disrespect the homie like that? Or damn, you really didn't want that smoke. It's a situation where it's becoming laughable. And I hate, doesn't matter where you're from, when others are laughing at the raza. Not laughing with you, but laughing at you. A spectacle. A circus. Real life. When people are like, damn, this fool's clowns. Now when other big time celebrities or rappers that you could have quite possibly had on your podcast, they're going to be like, I ain't trying to go over there, bro. That shit's rinky dinky. That Vato fuck around, take his shirt off, start rubbing on his nipples and call you out for a fade. I'm cool. Nobody wants to go into a place where it's so gang related or you're put in a situation where you're threatened. See, when you're doing something at a professional level, you expect it to be treated with professionalism. You especially to be treated, with respect and to be in a safe zone. If someone pulls up to a podcast, you got to assure them, hey, bro, you're good here. I got security. No one's going to fuck with you. Speak your truth, bro. Because there are people that go on podcasts that maybe people don't like them or maybe people do want to get at them. But it's up to you as a broadcaster, as a podcaster to be unbiased and let them say what they got to say, homies. You don't got to agree every time, but you got to, that's how you make the money. That's how you get the bag. That's how you get the push from the people. That's how you get the respect from the people and the people follow you because they want to hear what other people are scared to put out there. If you just constantly, I only fuck with active people and I only fuck with real G's and this and that. That didn't look real G-ish yesterday. One guy screaming, let's catch a fade. If the fade didn't happen, it wasn't G. I'm going to be honest with you. It wasn't G at all because real ones don't talk about it. They just do their thing. They just see each other and handle their business. Now, I understand alcohol, drugs, whatever does escalate situations and people say things that they shouldn't have. But that right there was a fiasco. That right there was people stumbling all over each other. And it just was an ugly situation. Do I believe Lefty carried himself right in the situation? Absolutely, man. Lefty was in the right. Lefty did the right thing. Lucky also was in the right and the wrong. The right being he held it down for what he truly believed in. But at the same time, he shouldn't have disrespected that kid like that. That youngster needs guidance, man. If he's acting a little too crazy and saying things that you don't like, bro, you have a conversation with them. You can get a lot more done. I've learned this in life. A lot more done with a simple conversation than you can with these. These are just going to make the motherfucker mad because he gets beat up and then he's going to keep coming back. He's going to go back and forth to ultimately someone 6 feet in, right? That's just how that goes. If you're a real certified stepper, right? You don't know what could have happened. Guns could have got pulled. You don't have to worry about the guy in front of you. You got to worry about his homeboy behind you. There's a lot of things that could have happened and it could have escalated. And then again, if it was staged just for theatrical purposes, then what is that shit? How does that make motherfuckers look? I ain't gonna lie, man. The Chicanos in Southern California as well as Northern California, it's been a little different lately, man. You know, I'm used to some real gangster shit. Like, I'm used to really prison 4 yards, fucking motherfuckers out there stabbing the shit out of you and conducting themselves in stupid, crazy situations, right? This shit nowadays is like the fucking cast of Cats or fucking the movie Puss in Boots, right? Where you just got a whole bunch of guys arguing, no, you did it, you do it, let's get your fade, let's get your fade. Meanwhile, you got the brothers laughing. They're like, these essays done running crazy. The Woods are like, brother, I don't give a fuck what the essays do as long as I get coffee. Coffee and donuts, right? And that's it. Anyways, with that being said, what do you guys think, man? Do you guys think that was staged, or do you guys think it was just fucking fools gone wild, I guess? You know, you know what I mean? And look at them high socks. Battle of that. Now that right there was the battle of high socks. Anyways, with that being said, stupid situations, man's making the raza look bad. My respects to Lucky, though, for holding it down for his crown. My respects to Lefty for playing it right and getting the fuck out of that situation on Gang Gang. And that's just what it is, you know? He can get back to telling the Norteños that they can't go to Disneyland, and Lucky can get back to fucking interviewing people that shit in their own diaper. With that being said, I hope that you move smooth with a purpose. Get everything that you want coming. And remember, at the end of the day, and this all jokes, bro. I ain't got nothing against these guys, man. Respects to both of those individuals. They're doing their thing, man. And as a brown man, I could say, shout, keep getting your bag, bro. That being said, move smooth with a purpose. Get everything that you want coming. And remember, at the end of the day, it's all about the strive, the struggle, the struggle, the strive. Trip out on this. Part 6, Super Norteño, coming up this afternoon. Who's ready? Who's ready? I even got my big eye. Look, I'm ready. You already know what it is. Thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive, struggle, strive for what I honestly and truly believe in. And that's the betterment of all people. Well, let's get your fade right now, right? Other vato is like, I'm never drinking Presidente with this poop butt ever again. Bang, bang, the gun.